My first experience with Thousand Pines was actually breaking my left wrist down at Ponderosa Camp in 5th grade on the very first day of camp that I was here. They told me it was lightly sprained. I continued playing with it and ended up making it worse by the time I got home, but it was worth the rec games and the zip line and everything. I think if you go back into the archives, there's actually still a clip that made it into the recap video of me breaking my wrist. Since then, it's been a wild journey and God has taught me so much. Here I am almost 15 years later, a married man working full-time at Thousand Pines, and it's been an absolute joy. I've learned so much and God has taught me so much, not only the work ethic and the values, but my relationship with Christ has grown significantly, specifically because of Thousand Pines and how God works through this place. I have learned the importance of the hidden value of motivation behind the value of excellence. If you strive for excellence for yourself or for prideful reasons, it will always be exhausting. But if you can surrender that and give up that pride and make your motivation Christ and to please Him and to love Him and love others, then striving for excellence will be one of the most rewarding things you'll ever do. If nothing else, this place has taught me that our will is never as good as God's will, and it is so important to surrender our life, our gifts, our talents, our time to dedicate to God's will for our lives. And whether that's something specific or just something that honors Him by loving Him and loving others, ultimately He just wants us to pursue Him. And that's been my goal, and I'm so thankful that Thousand Pines has taught me that, the importance of surrender to God. I try to encourage our staff members that don't get to see chapel to at least try to get to a few, if not one, in their time here, just to remind ourselves of this bigger thing we're a part of. The people flipping burgers or running kids up the rock wall, or even just working on a fence post are all part of this bigger picture ministry that happens here at Thousand Pines. But when you get to those gospel night chapels where you see those kids start standing up or raising their hand or declaring verbally that they want to commit their lives to Christ, it makes me emotional every time to see it happen. To know that we get to be a part of multiplying the population of heaven, that one day we will get to see those kids in heaven, that we get to rejoice with the Lord in heaven with those kids because of that week that happened, because God decided to work here at Thousand Pines. It's beautiful. This year has been a silent one, to say the least, here at camp. And I think sometimes we can get frustrated when ministry isn't necessarily going as it usually does or as we think it should. And that struggle can sometimes cause us to think that the ministry depends on us, but it's not dependent on us. God can work with or without us. And when He chooses to work with us and through us, it can be absolutely beautiful, as He does every year here at camp with all of our amazing staff members and youth pastors and group leaders. But He can also choose not to work through us sometimes. And when there is that lack of ministry, we can sometimes put that blame and guilt on our own shoulders. Like I said, as if the ministry is dependent on us accomplishing what we usually do, whether that be church or camp. I once heard Bob Goff say that God often waits till we're out of ideas before He reveals His plans. And that's what this season feels like. But I'm extremely excited to see what His plans are. But I don't think anyone can confidently say that God is working less just because of this unprecedented COVID season we've been in. Simply because it's been quiet here this year doesn't mean that God is not working, and doesn't mean that God is done working. Thousand Pines is set apart. I don't know if I can tell you why, but we have watched camp after camp, both near and far, shut down, and we're still here. God has sustained us and blessed Thousand Pines so far. And it has nothing to do with the property, it has everything to do with God deciding that. And I don't know why, but I feel confident in saying that God is not done with Thousand Pines yet. And I'm not sure what that looks like, but I'm excited to see what comes next. We've been here for 80 years, and I'm hoping and praying that God continues to use this place for another 180. I love this place. I love Thousand Pines. It has formed a lot of who I am. It has been such a joy over these past 15 years here and there to watch our staff and our campers and our donors and our youth group leaders, our supporters and friends all pitch in and be a part of the greater mission to help people see, know, and experience God. And it happens. In COVID and out of COVID, it happens here every day.